Hi YouTube. Just wanted to put together a quick video. You know who I hear from a lot? I hear a lot from new prospective stackers. People that are brand new to silver and gold. They haven't even bought their first ounce yet. They haven't commented on a video yet. And when you look at a video's comments versus views, you know there's a lot of people out there. Some are watching and listening to every word, and you'll never hear from them. So I wanted to make a video for you guys. For those of you that are kind of lurking in the shadows. For those about to stack, we salute you. Yes, I'm channeling my inner my younger hard rock days. Who am I kidding? I still listen to this stuff today. You know, one thing I'm most proud of with my stack is that it basically started with my first tube of Eagles. And I know that every stack begins with its first ounce. But I didn't have like a lot of money to just kind of plunk into it. I literally started at zero. I paid off the last of my debt and I bought my first tube. And I remember how amazing that felt. You know, I went from being in debt to actually on the plus side of the ledger. And I knew from that moment that things had changed. That I was done. That I was done being on that debt hamster wheel that, you know, so many of us found ourselves on. I can't promise you guys a lot of things. Okay, I can't promise you what the price of silver is going to do. I can't promise you what the price of gold is going to do. I can't promise you what the economy is going to do or what the stock market's going to do. But one thing I can promise you is that if you are living with that debt overhang, when you remove that from your life, you'll be shocked and amazed at how everything kind of falls into place. It's like a weight is lifted from your shoulders. It's like stress is removed from your life. Do you know the last time that I fought with my wife about money? It's been a long time. There's no reason to anymore. We used to fight about it all the time. It was awful, getting in those kind of arguments. But we were both under a lot of stress. We had little to show for our work, except for a monthly Visa bill that came in every month. You know, I was that guy that would get a $7,000 or $8,000 Visa bill and look at it and go, okay, I owe this money. I don't see $7,000 or $8,000 worth of stuff here. And then the very next month, you know, I'd make my payment, and then the next month, you know, we'd literally, spend everything we could. And then the very next month, the Visa bill would be $7,500 instead of $7,000. And we would rinse and repeat. Same questions. We were living unsustainably for our level of income. You know, we weren't jet setting or anything like that. We just had no control over our finances. Getting rid of that was definitely a turning point in my life. No question about it. Now, instead of an increasing Visa bill every month, I see my stack increasing every month. I basically promised myself that I would budget my money in a way that would allow me to stack every month. I looked at every dollar I spent. And the amazing thing that I found is that once that got started, I looked at every penny I spent. I would basically, you know, I know I said it in my first couple of videos, but I would start doing silver math. And I would just ask myself, what do I want? Would I rather have a Mercury dime or this convenience store Coke? And, bag of chips. And I was amazed at how often the silver won. I'm not saying every time. You know, one thing that a lot of financial people will tell you to do, and I'm not sure if this is a Dave Ramsey thing or not, but it works, is they want you to take for 1 month. And you don't even have to do it for a month. You could do it for a 2-week period, but 1 month is a perfect thing because it's an entire bill cycle. Write down every penny that you spend for an entire month. and then review it when that month is over, and you'll be shocked at how much of that money is just kind of spent frivolously. You'd be shocked. And it's gone forever. Once it's bought and you've consumed whatever it is that you bought, it's gone forever. This is here with you forever until you decide to sell it or trade it or whatever you're going to do with it. You know, the thing is, it's the ultimate personal responsibility. For most of us, this is just the way life is. There's not going to be any windfalls. There's no money fairy. There's no huge chunk of money coming your way. There's no rich uncle that you never knew about that will, leave you his estate in his will. That's all just fantasy stuff for most of us. I bet a lot of you listening to this look at your parents and you see the same cycle of mistakes that you've made yourself, and they have nothing to show for it. I know I do when I see my parents. I feel terrible. They just have never been able to manage their finances. And I really hope to break that cycle and to show my kids how to manage their finances. I didn't get that. But it's the ultimate personal responsibility. Nobody is going to do this for you. It's on you. And you have to ask yourself where it is as a priority in your life. When I look at some of the things that's going on in the world today, Detroit is just the latest example. A lot of what we're doing is simply unsustainable. If you're to tell me that for the first time in recorded history that you can print your way to prosperity, well, then I'll say that I'm wrong. It's never been done before. There's always consequences to the level of fiscal irresponsibility that we're showing today. There's always consequences for it. What will those be? Isn't that the big question? How will this manifest itself negatively down the road? We don't really know. But you can bet it's going to be something. I would rather have this than nothing at all. Some of the stock guys will kind of look down on this and kind of sneer at the prospect of silver and gold. It's had a role, a monetary, a financial. It's had value since the first moment that man discovered it. It takes a special type of hubris to basically say that today that's all changed and it's no longer the case. It's actually kind of an amazing viewpoint to me. That you're just going to be so dismissive of this. Since the beginning of man, as soon as they found this, it's had value. And it wasn't that long ago that stacking silver meant old coins and bars. Look at the level of beauty that's going into these coins today. It's just amazing. It's just striking to me. And to think that this is just all going to go away, that people will just completely abandon this, I don't think so. I don't see it. When you look at the central banks buying as much gold as they can, and then basically kind of telling you, nah, you don't have to do that. I don't know. What does that tell you? Think outside the box a little bit. When you see the two most populous nations on earth encouraging their citizens, well, China's encouraging, India's doing everything they can to stop it, but it's so ingrained in their culture, they're just moving forward. When the two most populous nations on earth are buying everything they can, what does that tell you? I see people of all income levels doing it. I see people from all walks of life doing it, and I see people from all over the world doing it. And I'm telling you, once you get your financial house in order, once you start building up your wealth, you'll be shocked at how everything kind of falls into place. They say money can't buy you happiness. And that's true at a certain level. Okay? But understand that being completely consumed by debt is a sure path to unhappiness. Okay, and you know what? Maybe it's maybe it's the equivalent of getting punched in the face over and over again. It just kind of feels good when it stops. Well, getting out of debt is kind of like getting punched in the face stopping. Horrible analogy, but it will basically change the way that you view everything. And you'll be shocked at how things just kind of fall together from there. So for those of you that are about to stack, we salute you. And I look forward to hearing from you in the future.